Can't wait to show you 2024 Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. Woo! I was honored to be flown to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, which has its exhibit within the cradle of aviation in Long Island, New York, and so much to look at. There was just games and toys and accessories and art everywhere. And this is before setup on Friday, and I was just going around. Just the show has really grown and matured over the years. And you know what, I was just blown away by how much product there was. It really was a nice vendor setup, nooks and crannies of everything. You got to explore like essentially two different things. You got to check out amazing aircraft in Aviation Museum, as well as a video game show with its own exhibits of amazing consoles on display, and arcade, pinball. Vendors were friendly, and just really enjoyed coming back to the show. It's been a long time since I came to Long Island Retros. 2018 was the last time that I got to come and experience it, and it was really nice to come back and talk to many different friends. And that was the other thing, people were really friendly. There was a lot of content creators that were just walking around having a good time, and I got to run into a few of them, got to talk. There's Frank there talking to Adam, and Adam Korlick, great friend, was able to catch up with him and just had an absolute blast at this 3-day event. And let's talk to Adam for a bit. Great friend Adam Korlick, and yeah. I want to get this on camera just because, all right, one thing, this guy travels. He's got a travel channel dedicated. What's your travel channel?
It's Flying and Eating. Okay. With Adam Korlick. You've been on it. You've been on many videos on there.
But the thing is, this good friend here, he travels a lot.
I do.
I got him beat on one thing.
You do. So I've been to, if you include Oceania, which the fact that I even know that word should tell you a lot. If you include that, I've been to 6 continents.
Yeah.
I'm only missing 2, Antarctica and South America. And he's got me beat on that because he went to Brazil. I don't know how that's possible.
And he's a Sega guy.
Yeah.
There's some really neat signage here at this one vendor's table, but it didn't matter if you collected or if you just loved retro gaming or you just wanted to go to this event and play. There was literally something for everyone, and I really like the diversity of Long Island Retro because, you know, there's a lot of people that don't collect anymore. It's okay. If you want to reminisce and just play your favorite video games, you had consoles set up for free play, arcades set up for free play, even pinballs, as well as a crazy video game exhibit covering and spanning consoles, classic computers, and I can't wait to show you later in this long form video. And really have been enjoying going to these events, and I had a lot of time to really enjoy this show. That was the other thing. I didn't just stay tethered to my table the whole time where I sell my homebrew and aftermarket games in person. The next show I'm going to be at will be at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I do this type of video to really show people what is all included at an event. And I know a lot of people can't come, or maybe some people are considering coming to an amazing game event like this, but I wanted to just show just the amount of amazing product that you can come and purchase at an East Coast video game show. Now there's some other ones in the area, but Long Island is very unique. It's very customized. It feels very personal. They're really going for a very customized show, and you can tell. Everybody was really passionate about video games. They were handing this out to guests. It was like a mini backpack with the Dreamcast style logo, came with a shirt and some extra goodies in there. It was awesome. They also had amazing food vendor service. Now, anyways, wanted to show this, a really nice Ghouls and Ghosts. It was reasonably priced. This vendor had a lot of Sega and Master System games. Now in the States, Master System's a little bit more difficult to find, but on the East Coast I find there's more Sega product. This show really was representing Sega well, Nintendo, N64, you name it. A lot of TurboGrafx stuff too, but not just video games. As I mentioned earlier, there's toys and trinkets, board games. There was a little movie crossover. As you know, there's a lot of collectors out there that collect those types of items as well. So it's not just a video game expo. There was a lot of diversity in product, and I definitely saw that in all the vendors represented at the show. Therapy dog?
No.
Kiss me, I'm Irish. I love it.
Say hi, John.
Say hi. Is this okay? Is it okay?
John? Yes, yes, please, sir. Thank you.
I already got permission to sneak free pets over here.
What a great dog. Thanks for bringing him. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
What's the dog's name?
Molly.
Molly.
Yep.
Love that. Dogs make everything better.
Yes, they do. Yes, sir.
Have a good one. The second floor really had some amazing things. It had a complete console timeline that you could come up and play. It was well represented. You name it, Atari, old school classic stuff. And then on this side, they had the more modern consoles all the way up to Wii U, but then they also had import section, which was representing all different types of consoles and types that we didn't get here, as well as an additional exhibit that was really showing some rare consoles. But yeah, it was really nice to see a wide representation of gaming. You could really tell that Long Island was passionate about people having a good time no matter what console they grew up with, or handheld, or classic computer. They had a lot of classic computing there represented, and they had the import UK version of Contra, which we called Contra here, and talking about it on a 50 hertz TV. And so it was interesting to play that version of Contra. I know it's included with the Contra collection, and there was just a lot of history being discussed at this exhibit, and a lot of passionate people that love talking about video games. Now, the arcade setup matched the console setup on that second floor, and let me tell you, it was brilliant. You name it, a lot of the classics were represented and in great working condition. My favorite, I'm gonna come back, play some of that. Robotron 2084, one of my favorite arcade games, and just wanted to show this amazing setup, everything from the lighting to the placement. Oh, there were so many classics, it was hard to choose. Even Computer Space, very rare and fully operational. It was so nice to see that. And people were really enjoying themselves. It was a chill, relaxed environment, especially on Friday night. And this makes this very special. This show, this 3-day setup, really, if you wanted to not have as much of the crowd, you could go Friday, where it was easier to film. That's why I'm showing this on Friday, as it was packed. It was packed all day, and this is set up and was even offered in after hours after the vendor setup was closed. People could come up here and enjoy games. So yeah, I really like the lighting and the placement of the cabs, all placed really nice in this top floor. There were so many classics. So in the video, when you watch this, what is your favorite that you like to see? There were so many. They even had Dragon's Lair, Berserk. Oh, Berserk, another classic of mine. Love playing that. But yeah, I was just going around and seeing just people really enjoying Scramble. Yeah, it's hard to choose kind of what to play. Crystal Castles. Oh, just so many timeless classics, and in really good shape too. A lot of these were really nice condition. And then on top of that, you could check out the crazy Aviation Museum. So just looking around, I know my dad was really big into aircraft, former Air Force. Just want to say thank you, all veterans, for your service. I'm from a military family, and so just want to say thank you. And just there was really some neat things at this expo, and I enjoyed looking around and seeing it. Tron here, timeless classic. It had just a really cool aesthetics for a video game arcade cabinet, and played that a little bit. I was filming with one hand, so it was hard to play, but yeah, just definitely had to play some of the light cycle stage. A little bit easier to play with one hand. Oh yeah, still got it. Still can at least get past that stage. But no matter what you're looking at, you could bring a whole family. So maybe you have older family members into aircraft, or maybe you're into aircraft yourself. You could come here, enjoy that on top of video games. So I saw a lot of multi-generational families attending this show. It was nice to see families come and check it out. But you know what? There was just really a wide variety, and that's what I really like about this expo, is it has a lot of diverse experiences for people. You know what, and I was just blown away by how much they packed in this aviation museum. So it's kind of nuts to think how much they packed in on top of having a fully operational museum on top of that. And it's like a stimulation overload. There's so much to look at, and a lot of history here, and that's what I really loved. There was some amazing content being displayed, as well as people. Later in the video I get to talk with Leonard Herman, who was a big inspiration for me and my collecting, and he gifted me a book, early 2000s, that really kind of helped me collect and continue forward with this crazy collecting journey that I became on a journey for. And anyways, just wanted to show a good thorough viewpoint of this expo, because I think you can't do this expo in a 10-minute video. I think it was just a more long format, which I am liking to do when I have the time. And I just enjoyed everything about this expo.
Sticks are good.
The show is about creating lasting memories, and the free play console setup was crazy. And what I liked about this expo is it didn't just rely on a large vendor setup and that was it. There was so much more to this show, where you didn't have to be a collector to enjoy it. You just had to love video games, or even just love aircraft. Just coming, and I saw so many different people playing different types of games. There was even Vib Ribbon. There was like a tournament on that, which was awesome. And it was just so many different console setup, many rare and hard to find consoles just set up for free play on classic CRTs, which was great to see. Also on that same floor, there was a lot of indie development, and this is kind of an interesting product. I'm going to do a full review on it, and it's the Game Tank. I did purchase one. Thank you, Justin, for that help with that, and was able to get the 7th console sold, and want to say I'm really excited about covering that. And there was also some independent games being sold there. Low Blast was there offering his Nintendo game. Really neat to see that. There was also a Genesis homebrew on this top floor. It was kind of crammed into the back and easy to miss. And so I'm glad that I did a full exploration of this expo as best as possible, because there was just things everywhere. It was easy to miss things. And so wanted to show this, as well as there was a complete console timeline starting with Odyssey, and they had these awesome banners in the back connected to the TVs and consoles that you could play and experience. It was so amazing. I can't tell you, it was really a nice addition and one of the best setups I've seen at any video game expo in the United States. And they had these awesome displays where you could play and sit down and check out any console you want. So watching this part of the video, what is your favorite console or handheld? They even had Tiger handhelds represented. Oh my goodness. Neo Geo, really nice Neo Geo setup. Everything from good, bad, and ugly, that awesome stuff. Then they had like CDI or Atari Jaguar or 3DO, and you name it, you could come and check it out. But I had to show this in the video, as I just thought it was amazing. It was amazing, just the people were really appreciating these classic video game consoles and handhelds, and it was just an awesome representation. So much work. It's really hard to find CRTs. They had hundreds of TVs, classic CRTs, to play these classic consoles. I can't imagine how much work it is to source those, as I know those are getting harder to find. Long Island Retro offered their own merchandise, really cool themed shirts. I really like the Pong one, was wearing that on Saturday. And so looking around, saw a Blue Angel up in the air, saw them in Reading back in the day, and just, you know, there was just so many great products, and there was some high-end stuff there. Seeing that NBA 2-ball demo for PlayStation, very rare. TurboGrafx CD add-on, and just you name it. For Switch, Atari, Super Nintendo, N64, Nintendo was well represented as well. But there was a lot of classic consoles. That's what I love about the East Coast. It seems like the East Coast game vendors have a little bit more classic console. I don't know if it is just it sells better, but I did notice that, and it was great to see this. There was some classic big box PC games that's sometimes missing. This vendor had a nice selection, as well as some vintage stuff, and I checked this out. Arcade Smash Hits. It was like a 5-pack of Sega games for PC. Anyways, if you like what you see, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week. Now let's talk about their video game exhibit. It was extensive. It was thorough. It was well displayed, and there were some incredibly rare consoles on display and classics. And not only that, but it did a great job at explaining kind of what is this, what makes it significant, the history behind it, and it was thorough. And it was so extensive, I actually got lost. It kind of reminded me of like an IKEA store where you walk in and it's like you have to go through the whole thing to get out. And I like that because of that, I was able to explore and find things I normally wouldn't seek out. But there was something for everyone. It was amazing. I was blown away by how detailed and thorough this setup was. And anybody in the area will tell you that's gone, and maybe didn't know it was this extensive. Let me tell you right now, I was blown away by how much content was crammed into this aviation museum, on top of still having all the aircraft info as well.
Be careful, it's hot.
I see that. Thank you.
There you go.
The
Enjoy.
only convention that has Sonic coffee, Dreamcast coffee cart with the music. Gotta say, thank you so much.
No problem.
Brewed
My
by
pleasure.
yourself.
Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. It started to get really packed Saturday, and before many people were going to be coming in, I wanted to share with you the extensive video game history exhibit that Long Island Retro is known for. It was amazing. I'm not going to cover 100% of everything, but wanted to show the amazing setup that this show offers. It blows my mind. So going in, and it's about celebrating gaming, and this 3-day event. I can't even imagine how much time it takes to set up and tear down this extensive setup and exhibit. And so just out for people to check out. It's not behind caged glassware. It's just out to play. Very rare items, very rare games, and common stuff and obscure stuff, and you name it. They had an exhibit. They also had a vendor here, and they were offering Sega Dreamcast aftermarket, because there was a whole Sega Dreamcast exhibit within the video game exhibit, aftermarket games, publisher. It was awesome to see this, and very friendly staff, and it was nice to see just a nice mix of amazing products to buy, but just stuff to experience and play. Check out this, man. Dreamcast was the theme of the show, and it was well represented. And what is your experience with Sega Dreamcast, which is turning 25 years for the US release? Holy cow, just blown away with that. And so lots of different Dreamcast games and items to just pick up and play. And so there was many things on display where you could check out. I really loved seeing that. And with Dreamcast is very special to me, as I worked at a Software Etc. Check it out, Dreamcast kiosk. Awesome. Many people enjoying some amazing Dreamcast games. Xeno Crisis, which is a very cool aftermarket game. I've covered that on my channel, many different releases. Cool to see that. The exhibit was so overwhelming, I got lost. But it was a good thing because I got lost, I was able to share probably more footage on this video, because there was many different aspects of gaming represented. They even had a Poke Lab, and I totally wouldn't have missed that if I didn't get lost. And so, you know, I loved just everybody celebrating and talking about their favorite video games in these nooks and crannies of this aviation museum. And they had artwork as well up. There was some awesome art and just lots of information too for people to discover new aspects of video games that maybe they didn't know about. And it seems like a lot of people were having a blast. And really, I know there's a lot of people into Pokemon, so I wanted to show that in this video. But then they had a classic computer setup, which is often misrepresented or often overlooked at many gaming conventions. It's harder to set these up. It's nice seeing Super Mario Brothers on the C64. Did a video on that way back when. Aquarius Computer, as well as many more. TRS-80, you name it, it was here. Atom Computer, just a lot of that. Atom Computer, by the way, my first video I ever did. And so nice to see that. TI-99 4A, Atari computers represented. Oh yeah. Attack of the Pesky Robots, done by 8-Bit Guy. Very nice to see. Classic King's Quest. What is your favorite classic computer memory? In the comments, let me know. So then going over here, there was a really nice exhibit of some video game art. And another thing that you never see typically at video game conventions. There are some ones, the bigger ones, like Portland Retro Gaming Expo had a really nice Nintendo art exhibit. But it was nice to see this. I mean, I'm not saying like typical shows. A lot of detail that was put into this setup. Wanted to show kind of a close-up quickly. You can slow this down if you want to get more information. But yeah, video game art is a thing, and especially original artwork used for a video game cover, which back in the day was hand-drawn. And so it's nice to see some of them saved. A lot of them weren't saved, unfortunately. This is yet another part of this extensive setup where people just could come up and play games. There were just games everywhere. Early Nintendo console, TV color line, early glasses, like VR glasses. But yeah, if you can't come to this, watch the video. Watch the video and be amazed at how much is actually set up in this 3-day event. So all this has to be tore down after the end of the exhibit, which is nuts. Which to me is just, it's challenging, especially getting working television sets, and there's just a lot of painstakingly effort, blood, sweat, tears. Nice to see an Apple Pippin. I was kind of amazed at just the craziness and detail of all these rare consoles and platforms. But Sega was well represented. This vendor here had an awesome Sega Saturn exhibit, and I really like to see that. And within this exhibit, there was a couple vendors that were selling things. This vendor here was selling some, looks like a multitude of Sega Saturn items. But yeah, I was enthralled with it all. I was having a great time, and I did this mostly walking around before things got super busy, because I wanted to show just in detail as much as possible. I don't get to do these videos all the time, in detail like this, but I had time to do this, and I really wanted to share with people how much effort went into the show, and I really enjoyed it. It definitely was a show for historians or people really interested in video game history. As I mentioned before, Leonard Herman was at the show. He actually did a panel on the history of his writing and him writing Phoenix Fall and Rise of video games, which he's currently working on a new edition. But you can check his book out I'm gonna add a link below where you can check out the Phoenix Fall and Rise of video games, which he sells on Amazon. And it's the book that really got me into collecting, and just a huge thank you to him. He was at the show, he did a great panel, and was well received. So just looking around, just wanted to show just as much as possible everything at this exhibit, which was just one aspect of the show. There was so much to look at. It was overwhelmed. It was overwhelming, to be quite honest. There was even RPGs set up, which people were playing, which I thought was nuts. A lot of classic computing, though. It was really nice to see. EverQuest? There was EverQuest there. You could play it. How awesome is that? You remember playing EverQuest? A lot of classic RPGs here. What's your favorite classic RPG? Do you play those? What are your memories of gaming in general? In the comments, let me know. But I was just blown away and amazed with how much was in one exhibit, one part of this show. I can't imagine how much staff this took to tear down. I'm curious on how many days they had to tear down. I'm sure storage is challenging for sure. That classic shooter section, they had a classic run and jump section with Rygar from Nintendo, and really was cool to see that. I was a big fan of that game as well. All right, I am here with Clyde. Clyde,
creator of the Game Tank.
Last name, Clyde
Schaefer.
Clyde Schaefer, creator of the Game Tank, and he's here to quickly talk about it. So tell me a little bit about what you've designed here.
Well, what we've got here is a 8-bit console that you could build either yourself or you can get it from us, but it's entirely made from modern parts, stuff you can buy from distributors today. It's got a couple of tricks up its sleeve, different from an NES, but you could compare that graphics to an NES.
All right, and you can go on your website to get games and merch right there.
Our QR code.
Yep. And then you just go to
GameTank.zone. I don't think I put it on the back there.
All right, GameTank.zone, and here's the specs of it. Can't wait to show you this amazing console. Would you consider it a homebrew console, or what?
I guess consider, we've been calling it the 8-bit homebrew hardware, or a homebrew ecosystem. This is the 7th Game Tank sold.
Okay.
Mark that on here.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by the Glenn's Retro Show booth. Today at the show, I brought my Build-A-Cades. We have a lot of new artwork on here. The most prominent is Joe Sabos Arcades, Donkey Kong Jr. artwork, Popeye, and Donkey Kong Jr. to play this on my Build-A-Cade screen, just to be stupid. This yoke uses Hall effect technology. It's not gears. It works in the original 1982 arcade machine. It works in the arcade 1-up machine. They're all plug and play. John, I know, has it in his right now.
Yeah, I did a video on it. Check out Glenn's Retro Show, one of the channels that I actually feature and recommend on my channel. Great guy, great products, and you can go to his channel and check out the amazing things he does. All right, this is a very special gentleman. This is Leonard Herman. He is the father of video
game history,
yes,
or the game scholar.
Okay, he is the father of video game history, and the reason why I started seriously collecting. And so I just want to thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. You're a close friend.
Well, thank you too, John, for because you always say good things about me. You've always been promoting my book, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I want to say, people out there, if you want truly the most amazing video game history book, he's the first one to do a book on video game history. He knows his stuff.
30 years ago.
30 years ago, and this is the book. This is the book that you need to get on Amazon. Okay, and the thing is, how many pages is this now?
Well, the soft cover is 823, the hard cover is 868.
Okay, it is the book to get. And I just want to say thank you for just everything
Thanks
that you
again,
did.
John.
You have inspired me to have my insane collection. And so I know you made some funny comments yesterday about like, but anyways, great guy. Check out the book. And it's such an honor to always see you at these conventions.
Thank you, John.
This is Langle, and he's a creator of Guntner, and this is a killer classic shooter. How would you describe it?
It's kind of like a sideways Galaga. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah. And anyways, you can get it through him. Where's your website?
Lowblast.com.
And I had the honor to be by this amazing gentleman, the father of Hubert, Warren Davis, and just a pleasure again, sir, to just talk to you, talk to games. Look at this, he's so friendly. He's got his book here, and he does magic tricks.
Doesn't bite.
Nope, doesn't bite, and just awesome. Very cool. It's always,
What up?
Mr. Korlick.
How you doing? Let me stand up.
Always good seeing you. Yes.
Likewise.
Always good.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. What do you got playing today?
This is a Japanese exclusive game called Bulk Slash.
Okay.
This is actually a fan translated version into English so that people can come and check it out and play it in full experience. It's like a mech game, unreleased. Another great example of a Japanese Saturn game that we just never got over here.
Was it recently converted?
Yeah, like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
There's a lot of really good stuff on the Saturn that we just never got.
Awesome.
The weird thing about this, though, if you ever find an original Japanese copy,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, it's in terrible condition, the manual's like glued to the case. That's how they shipped them.
Wow.
Which is very bizarre.
Yeah.
So if you find it online, you're like, oh, I don't want it because I'll look for one without a glued manual. You'll never find it. It's fake if you do.
All right. Had a blast at the show. Thank you for viewing this. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I am uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the immortal John Hancock, and you take care.